How in the F would this change anything? I just told you how it would change something. The sun going around your head doesn't match your model. Now, because he's come out with this experiment, now people are saying it doesn't matter if there is. I've been saying there is no 24-hour sun. If there was, then that would be evidence of a globe.
Thing is, everybody understands my claim. I've said it for 3 weeks at nauseum. Okay?
Right, we all understand you're fallacious.
Great. Yeah, sure, it's fallacious. Sure.
Corrupt.
No, it's anybody with any intelligence realizes that the sun cannot be going around somebody in Antarctica and the Earth be flat.
Because the claim that I heard you say was that a 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica basically refutes the flat Earth. And if I can quote, the Earth cannot be flat if there's a 24-hour sun. Is that correct?
Well, I think we could, that is correct.
Your statement was the 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica refutes the flat Earth. And to be more specific, you said a flat Earth cannot exist with a 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Right.
Okay, so you agreed to that. Jaron, you're making a claim that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica debunks the flat Earth.
Correct.
I disagree.
Yeah, I know you do.
When yesterday where I lived,
when you say it's apparent, what did the sun?
You just said it was apparent.
Okay.
You just said it was apparent.
And
I didn't say you just said it was apparent.
And I'm asking you, when you're talking about apparent, well, everybody can zoom in on the sun and see the sunspots. So is it apparent sunspots that they're seeing, or is that real sunspots?
I don't know, Jaron. You're the one who just said it's apparent because you used logic and realized it has to be.
No, I didn't. I was just doing it to make you happy. It's like, well, fine, you want to call it apparent?
No, you did it to make me happy in front of all these people in a debate.
This is a debate? When is it a debate?
You just conceded the apparent sun, and then now because you do have a degree of intelligence,
you are out of your mind. You're so fucking stupid.
You realize I'm about to topple your entire argument.
What argument?
And you're fucking getting cold feet.
No, I'm not getting cold feet.
Everybody watching wants.
Then that would call into question our model. No, everyone, oh, no, it wouldn't. We can still be flat no matter what observations we see. There might be 35 suns, Jaron. You don't know that there's not 167 suns, Jaron. And there's sun over here and a sun over there. We don't know. But we don't know what the light in the sky is. Both people are saying, oh, but Jaron, they could use a sun simulator. You're kidding yourself. What are they going to move it on a balloon? Is a little helicopter going to carry around the fake sun and me and Austin are going to be fooled? Oh, is that helicopter above the sun all day? Is that just normal? Yeah, it's normal here. Oh, okay, we were just wondering.
See, that's the weird thing to me is Jaron featured my video on unconventional propulsion systems on how the ISS is up there. He watched it on Speaker Corner and showed his whole following. And it's just weird to me that he hasn't once thought of that. You know, it appeared to me that that's his new position. Now let's talk about a sun simulator. Let's say they do have the technology. You know, if they were to fake it, they would be faking it for the people in Antarctica. And those are the only people that in that region, in that area, those are the only people who are going to see the 24-hour sun that they're faking. You see what I'm saying?
Here we've got a little diagram for you to look at. You'll have to notice, and you can just take a globe at home and put a piece of cardboard on top. That plane is all you would be able to see from the top of the globe, admitted even by the globe earthers. That there isn't a perpetual amount of distance you can see. Therefore, that's all you see, meaning when you see the sun rise and set, you would only be seeing that short little arc. Sorry, Earth, not a globe.
But when it comes to the sun on a flat motionless plane, as I described on Globebusters this Sunday, here's how I see it working. First thing, to understand the idea of the atmospheric dome. We can see in a circle around us for about 3 miles in radius. If it's very clear, perhaps more. Generally speaking, a 6-foot man can see about 3 miles from his position. If we get up higher, we can see further. Our view circle enlarges. I think everyone would be on the same page so far. Let's look at this observer here and realize that the air in front of us can be a lot like a pane of glass. Then if you added a second pane of glass or a third pane, a fourth pane, eventually it would become harder to see because you have more of this glass. It's just going to add up just like our atmosphere adds up in front of our eyes. So one could say that seeing further through the air might be more difficult. If we add panes of glass, things get progressively more difficult to see. Notice the red dot here on the back of the 15 panes of glass is more difficult to see than the same red dot at the front. If our observer stands and takes a look at his surroundings, We know we can see in a 360-degree circle around us, and our view is the radius of that circle. Now, where would the most atmosphere or panes of glass be to our observer? Well, it's at the ground level, the thickest portion of our atmosphere. As we go up, our atmosphere thins out. So here we have the most atmosphere at the Earth level. So knowing where the most is and where the least is, we can come to the conclusion or the realization that we see in a dome-like viewpoint. Since the second most heavy portion of the atmosphere is when we start to look up just a little bit, well, progressively from there we see less and less atmosphere and distortion. This is a dome shape. We see through the atmosphere in a dome-like shape from the observer's point of view. And every single person on Earth each has their own dome view of the sky above. But everything we see happens in our personal little dome. Now we can see the sun. As the sun goes away from us, now we understand why the sun sets on a flat Earth. And also, as the sun's away from the other observer, why it rises on a flat Earth. It is simply the sun eclipsing the atmospheric layer or the cloud layer at the horizon off in the distance. Never changed their height in the sky in comparison to you. It's just the way we observe it. So everything that happens above us displays for us in our own personal atmospheric dome. The sun, the moon, and that's why we don't have the exact positions for either one, because they're rendered to each of us separately. Rather, the only time that you could really get the measurement of the distance of the sun would be on the equator on the equinox. The same goes for Polaris, where you can only get its distance from the North Pole. Here we've got another drawing. It's labeled a few places. We'll look at label letter A. That's the observer showing his radius of view circle. Letter B is the supposed curve of the Earth. C is the actual flat plane of the Earth. D is the apparent concavity of the Earth, and that's when we see the water rising to eye level. E is the apparent path of the clouds. F is the true cloud level. G is the apparent path of the sun, and H is the actual sun path. The next image that you see, it gives you an idea of what many of these atmospheric domes would look like together, all operating at once. When one guy has noon, well, another guy has 1 o'clock, another guy has 2 o'clock, and so on and so forth around the flat plane.